Hello, it's Dr. Farmer. I wanted to take a moment to show you the results of the feedback survey that I gave last week, that I gave to you all last week. So unfortunately, only 4 people completed the survey. When you look at the feedback, remember it's anonymous, so I don't know who said what. I really appreciate the 4 people who completed the feedback. I wish more would have. Here's what they said. The first question said, what about the course has been most interesting and enjoyable to you? Learning about the personalities and how they are defined to an individual, reviewing basic charts of each psychologist. Discussion questions are most enjoyable because it allows us to apply the text to real situations. And then reading other people's responses and learning about their experiences. The second question asked, what did you like least about the course? One person said, I enjoy everything. One person said, I find the PowerPoints to be busy. One person said, have the discussion questions due Tuesday and Thursday instead of posting by Thursday and replying to peers by Sunday. Um, and then one person said, that is not in person and the research paper. They would rather have the class in person and they don't like the research paper. I understand that. Let me address the timing of the discussion questions because I've tried it a number of different ways. I've had them do on different dates, and I find that the current situation is the best one, and here's why. The logic behind having the discussion answers due on Tuesday and the responses due on Friday is to give you, if you think about the week starting on Sunday, then you have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to read the chapter and then respond to the 2 questions. And then you have the rest of the week to read what all of your peers have said and then respond to at least 2 peers. If I make them do later, and then, so once you respond by Friday, then the idea is that you start the next chapter on Saturday. So then the next week you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to read and respond to peers, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to respond to peers. So the idea is that early in the week you read and then you answer. Later in the week you respond to the discussion. If I move those dates back, then it really just prevents the early time that you have to prepare for the answering the questions the next week. So, like I said, I've tried it a number of ways, and I think this is probably the best way. But I do hear your feedback, and I understand why you would like it to be, different. But that's the logic behind it. I don't always change everything, but I do try to explain why I have it away. I don't just randomly make things um, to get on students' nerves. Um, and then the research paper. I know students don't like the research. Some students don't like the research paper, and particularly doing it in a group. My rationale behind having you all do the paper in a group is that you have to learn the skills to communicate and develop projects even when you're not together. As you're noticing in this COVID environment, if those of you all who work online and work in groups, you're having to do this exact thing now for your jobs. At least I do. Any team that I'm on for my work, I have to meet with those individuals, develop products, and then bring those products back to the larger group. So my hope is that you're developing the skills to communicate outside of a large forum, develop a group, produce a product, and then get that product back. There are some important communication skills that are being developed in this project, as well as writing skills, and then social skills, working together in a group. So that's my logic behind the way that I do the paper. The third question was, were there any things that you were expecting from the course that you're not getting? One person said no. Another person said, I was expecting a little more interaction with you as a professor. If it was online videos or review sessions preparing for the test, you're great at responding to emails and discussion posts. So I get that. I think sometimes students confuse the types of classes, so online versus hybrid versus I forget the other type. I forget the other type right now. But in an online class, it is totally online. And I think some students were expecting this to be a different type of class, and that's fine. I get that. I actually taught this class in person for 15 years before I moved it to an online format. I enjoy both aspects. I think there are pros and cons to each. And I definitely wish that we had more individual or class interaction. However, I find that when you teach class in the hybrid format, or when I have lectures online, to me, students are bored out of their minds when I sit there and I lecture to you about, the slides and stuff that you already have. But, everyone does it different, and everyone has different preferences, and I respect that. I just choose to do it in this online format because I find that has been most effective for me. Um, the fourth question was, what suggestions do you have for the course? What would you like to see improved? One person said, I appreciate the practice quizzes. They have helped in other classes that I've taken. I would prefer if they were more questions from the question bank so that we be productive to study with. I think it would allow for more interaction with the material. Actually, the I appreciate that feedback, and those questions and the practice quizzes were developed based on this exact feedback from previous classes. When I first started teaching this class, particularly when it was in person and online, I did not have the practice quizzes, but students requested that. I took the time to develop those and put those online. And those of you all who've taken the practice quizzes should notice that some of those questions actually show up on the exam. So I think if you haven't taken advantage of the practice quizzes, it's definitely something you should do because it will help your performance on the exam. Another request was if there were short lecture videos of most of the essential points along with your PowerPoint. The professor breaks up the information he wants us to know and presents 3 or 4 5 to 10-minute videos walking through explaining important concepts. Again, that my logic behind that, I definitely think videos would help. I don't do a lot of those lecture videos because again, to me, oftentimes students don't view them, and then the students who do view them find them to be kind of boring. But I will consider that moving forward, and you will see a few of those here and there. My classes are still developing and improving, so that may be a layer that I add moving forward. Another piece of feedback, have groups displayed in the tab. Topics watch out for when studying for the test, considering multiple choice is 3 points. I think one of the other things, speaking of the tests, is the essay questions. The essay questions, I strongly recommend that you develop those answers as we're covering that chapter. So don't wait until the exam time to have to write 6 essays from information that you covered 4 weeks ago. Go ahead and do those as we cover the chapter. Then you'll have your study, you'll basically have your study guide developed for the exam, because the essay questions also help you with the multiple choice questions. So now you have practice quizzes and essay questions to study from. And I think that would definitely help with exam performance. Yeah, that's all I can really say about the exams. And then the last one, more opportunities for extra credit. I think my philosophy is that you should take advantage of the points while we're here. I don't offer a lot of extra credit because I emphasize learning the material in the class. And I think the extra credit takes away from committing yourselves to learning the material in the class. I do have the talk attendance and the study participation. I strongly recommend that you take advantage of those opportunities. However, take advantage of the points in the class while they're available. I do not offer any opportunities at the end of the semester to make up points. I only offer what is in the syllabus. So I appreciate someone mentioning that in terms of the number of extra credit opportunities. You can get a lot of extra credit opportunities, but there aren't a lot of points available. So and just try to find something that fits your schedule and make sure that you take advantage of the ones that are there. As always, you can send me an email or schedule an office hour visit if you have any questions or concerns. I'm always available to meet with students to try to meet your needs. Until then, I'll see you guys soon.